This podcast is brought to you by the Alien Soda Company, your connection to pop culture and paranormal themed merch. AlienSodaCompany.shop for all things out of this world.
All right. So on this episode of the Paranormal Mind podcast, we are going to talk about the infamous Jack the Ripper.
Ooh, nice.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Paranormal Mind podcast.
What's up, everybody? I had
Not
a
like
few extra
singing in
ones.
that one.
Yeah, I know. I gotta change it up a little bit sometimes.
Please. Like,
He's
with
like, never
with
do
a
that
different
again.
sound altogether. And with us today is producer Mandy,
Hello.
which is Josh's wife.
And she's only been doing podcasting for a couple of years now, and several more episodes than we have on the
And she's
Incoherent Fangirl.
already surpassed us like big time.
Oh yeah, for sure. She gets all kinds of New York bestsellers on her podcast. We're just here. We are.
Yeah. So anyway, the paranormal. she's the star of the show.
No, that's George Bailey.
That-
We
That's
got
true.
George Bailey over here.
Man, you patrons, you patrons are in for a treat in these episodes.
Oops.
Old George Bailey's in the house, y'all.
What's up, buddy? Anyway, like I said, we are going to be talking about Jack the Ripper.
He's about to make himself comfortable over there.
That's okay. So anyway, Jack the Ripper is an unidentified killer who targeted victims in London's Whitechapel district in 1888. Other names he went by include the Whitechapel Murderer and Leather Apron.
Leather apron.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's freaky.
Oh, yeah. So notorious for targeting female prostitutes from East London, his modus operandi, I guess that's how you, did I pronounce that right? No.
Slowly. Modus operandi is what I always heard.
Wait, say it again.
Modus operandi.
Okay. So I said it
What I always
extremely
heard.
slowly
Yeah.
and
You were like,
awkwardly.
Is
You're
this
just
the
nervous
right
about
way?
it.
I was nervous about, is this right or not? I've heard it before, but I know I mispronounce everything. It included gruesome mutilations, sparking rumors that he might have had medical or anatomical training.
Ooh.
The media played a major role in the hysteria, especially with letters claiming to be from the Ripper, but many of these were believed to be hoaxes meant to stir public interest.
Mm.
So let's talk about the crimes a little bit. And these crimes are gruesome, so if you got like weak stomachs, then maybe you skip over this part. I don't know.
Okay,
Ugh.
I'll be back.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of them involve dogs. No,
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I know you'd really leave the room if that was the case. So Jack the Ripper, what's up with George?
Whoa, he got his
What the hell's going on?
He said, I got hung.
Poor
Just trying
guy.
to make sure that patrons get to see his cute face
Yeah, he is
in
cute.
every episode.
Give him that. Look at him. Poor
Hello.
guy. Poor guy. All right. So Jack the Ripper's crimes were brutal, often involving deep slashes to the throat,
Ugh.
severe abdominal mutilations, and in some cases, the removal of internal organs.
I get
These-
the chills,
yeah,
man.
yeah. These killings led many to speculate that the killer had some surgical knowledge, like I talked about. The rumors tying these murders together became especially intense in September and October 1888, with the media receiving multiple letters from individuals claiming to be the murderer. So, probably some copycats or whatever wanting to have that
It
notoriety.
is so crazy to me that people want to be these people.
Yeah, and it's even present day it's like that, but
Yeah.
in 1888,
Mhm.
like you're wanting that
Pure
notoriety.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Human behavior, man.
Yeah.
Weird.
While many of these letters were likely hoaxes, They played a significant role in creating a media frenzy around the crimes. So the victims, which they call the Canonical Five, these 5 victims were commonly associated with Jack the Ripper. Okay, the first one was Mary Ann Nichols. She was discovered in Bucks Row. Her throat was deeply slashed, and she had abdominal mutilations.
Mm.
The second was Annie Chapman. She was found in Hanbury Street. Her throat was similarly slashed. Her abdomen opened, and certain organs were missing completely. Ugh. The third was Elizabeth Stride. She was discovered in Dutfield's yard. Her death was mainly a clear-cut incision across her neck. The fourth was Catherine Eddowes. I'm just going to say it's Eddowes, whatever. She was found in Mitre Square. Her throat was cut, her abdomen open, organs placed over her shoulder, and her face was mutilated. Organs were placed over her shoulder. Can you even imagine?
Oh, dude. I think about the investigators that have to see all of that stuff, man.
The investigators,
how do you even do it?
The investigators, but also like just a person that is capable of doing that.
Unbelievable.
Like that
man.
right there just completely blows my mind. Somebody that's capable of
something
doing
is
something.
Like truly broken in them.
It's got to be. It's something so twisted in you that you're even like, I've got a pretty strong stomach, but there's no way in hell that I could ever number one, hurt anybody, but number two, like do something that gruesome.
That's
like
my thing. It's like to even hurt somebody.
Yeah, I can understand like if you're defending yourself or like someone you love, someone breaks into your house and it's you or me or you or my family. Yeah. But to plan.
But this is like intricate and methodical
in such an awful way, in such a gruesome way, because you know they didn't die quickly.
Right.
They're being cut open and not dying quickly at all.
And if you have any expertise in it, that you could do it in a way that you know that they could still be
alive,
conscious or coherent. Yeah. I can't even imagine. It's sad. So the fifth one was Mary Jane Kelly. Her mutilated body was found in her room at Miller's Court with extensive evisceration and facial mutilations. All these murders happened at night, usually close to a weekend, either at month end or a week after. The mutilations grew increasingly severe, leading many to believe they were the work of a single individual. So a little bit of background about all of this. The latter half of the 19th century saw a large influx of Irish immigrants in major English cities, including London's East End. From 1882 onwards, Jewish refugees escaping persecution in Eastern Europe settled in the same area. Whitechapel was plagued with rampant poverty, leading many women to resort to prostitution for survival, which is sad in and of itself. Mm-hmm. The district was also characterized by rising social tensions, crime, and instances of public unrest, further painting it as an area of immorality and lawlessness. After the deaths of the Canonical Five, more murders occurred in the Whitechapel district, but it remains uncertain whether they were the work of Jack the Ripper. The end of the Ripper's crimes has been attributed to various reasons, including his possible death, imprisonment, migration, or institutionalization. Wow, and I said that big ass word. Holy hell, how'd that happen?
You did it.
It's an anomaly. All right. Following the Canonical Five, several murders happened, but their connection to the Ripper is debated. So here's some other alleged victims, okay? Fairy Fay, which is a cool name, by the way. Yeah. Fairy Fay. This is the name given to an unidentified woman whose body was supposedly found on 26th of December, 1887. However, no recorded murders in Whitechapel occurred around Christmas 1887, leading many to conclude that Fairy Fay's story was a myth altogether. Annie Millwood on February 25th, 1888, was a 38-year-old widow, was admitted to the infirmary with stab wounds. She died of natural causes on March 31st, and though some speculate she was the Ripper's first victim, there is no definitive link. Ada Wilson was a dressmaker who survived being stabbed twice in the neck on March 28th, 1888. The motive seemed to be a robbery. So these are just some of the victims around that time. Annie Farmer on November 21st, 1888. She was a resident of the same lodging house as another potential victim, Martha Tabram, and she reported an attack. She had a minor cut on her throat, which some believe might have been self-inflicted, so they're not really sure.
Gotcha.
So the Whitehall mystery, this refers to a headless torso of a woman discovered on October 2nd, 1888, in the basement of the new Metropolitan Police Headquarters. Several parts of the body were found at different times, but the victim was never identified. The mutilations were similar to another case. These murders are sometimes attributed to the torso killer, another unidentified murderer who might or might not have been the Ripper. So here's some of the investigation that went into Jack the Ripper, the case itself. The police undertook extensive investigations. Their methods are reflective of investigative procedures of the Victorian era. Over 2,000 people were interviewed, 300 investigated, and 80 detained.
Dang.
Yeah. They initially took charge with assistance later from Scotland Yard. There was a focus on butchers, slaughterers, surgeons, and physicians due to the nature of the mutilations. Excuse me.
They just said they were going to go through and clean house, huh?
Yep. So media displayed a massive role in shaping the public's perception of the Ripper case, which, let me stop right there. The media has never changed. They always love to shape the narrative of things that are going on, no matter what it is. The media has a major role in that, even to this day. So I don't have any doubts that, but it's still surprising to me that so long ago they still had a big part in kind of shaping people's opinions and perceptions about it.
It's interesting because by default, the media's sole goal is to reach as many like listeners or watchers or viewers or readers or whatever. So that changes every story that they ever make, right? So they're going to spin it in the way that they think is going to reach the most people, which is problematic.
Yeah, and you would like to think that the media would be in search of the truth, because that would be a great avenue to try to find out the truth a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But instead, it's like spinning it, like you said, to a certain narrative. And, sometimes it's more harmful than it is.
It is,
helpful.
And they don't realize it either. Or I don't think they really care at this point either. I think.
Well, now it's more entertainment for them. It's like, it's entertainment value. How many numbers can we get drawn in?
And it's crazy because when they get sued, their complaint is, oh, well, this is just satirical news.
Oh,
and I'm like, what in the world, man?
Yeah. So what's crazy about this whole media thing is the naming of the killer as Jack the Ripper came from the media. Sensational reporting combined with the police's inability to capture the killer contributed to public fear and fascination. This led to volunteer citizens forming the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee to patrol the street and assist in the investigation.
Okay.
So many letters purporting to be from the Ripper were sent to the police and newspapers. Among these, the Dear Boss letter, Saucy Jackie postcard, and From Hell letter gained significant attention. Most of these letters were believed to be hoaxes, but they further ignited public interest and fear. Jack the Ripper's crimes had a significant impact on society, shedding light on the poor living conditions of the East End London and leading to substantial reforms. In popular culture, the Ripper became a central figure, featured in countless works of fiction and numerous nonfiction analysis. This enduring fascination and study of the Ripper crimes gave birth to the term Ripperology.
What?
Yeah. It even had its own term.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the case kind of like summarized. But I wanted to talk about it because what fascinated me when I was doing a little bit of research about this is that even in the 1800s, when there was still buzz, there was still talk about it. It became a huge story at the time. And again, they still couldn't find who the hell did it.
I think this is a interesting story to kind of highlight how often what you say in your words could have like positive effects for people, but it could have really detrimental effects through society as well. And this is one of those where the media, they don't understand it at the time, but then they encourage to have copycat killers because of it. And so this has real life consequences.
Yeah.
When you try to embellish things like this.
Well, yeah. Well, the copycats, especially because then what you're essentially doing is you're halting any sort of progress that could happen, or you're throwing different rabbit trails.
Right.
Yeah.
In front of the investigators.
You could potentially cause more murders, more lives lost because of it too. If these copycat,
if they're following those,
actually follow through. Yeah. I mean,
you would think, here's another thing. I get that, the more that you spread awareness for something, it helps. But at the same time, we've seen time and time again how detrimental it is in a lot of instances. So, I know you can't keep it hush hush, because if you want to get some sort of resolution, you got to have,
and you need to tell
knowledge.
These women,
right?
Don't
you need
go
to warn
out alone.
them.
Don't
for sure? Yeah. So it's a slippery slope. Slippery slope.
So, but is it worth, like, even if you find the killer in one aspect, is it worth having this media attention where you get copycats and where you get more murders as a result of trying to find?
And I think
one set, trying to solve one murder.
Right. I think that's something that should at least be considered before you go and start spreading that kind of information out to the public. You know what I mean? There's the potential of it being harmful, And
I guess I was going to say you have to warn these women to not go out at night alone, but they were sex workers who were,
that's true too.
Prostituting to survive. You have to be alone with the person.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it makes
someone who poses a customer.
Makes you wonder if it really made a difference to these people, like these women, because this is, again, their livelihood at that time.
And they probably thought the mentality that everyone has is, it can't happen to me. It'll happen to somebody else.
Right.
The bad thing doesn't happen to you.
And then even if they were terrified that it was going to happen to them, this is how they live.
Yeah.
So even if you are terrified, in that situation, you can't stop.
You can't starve to death.
Yeah, that's interesting too.
Man, that's scary to even think about.
Awful.
Yeah,
that is
sad. Women.
The personality of like, it was only, this won't happen to me.
Yeah.
But then it does happen to you.
And then I think a lot of people it was only prostitutes. So it doesn't matter when those were human beings.
Yeah.
Like, those were human beings who were just trying to survive.
Well, and I think you got to think at that time too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They were considered, okay, well, if they were murdered, these were a certain class of women.
Yeah,
it's utter classicism.
Yeah, it's another wealth problem,
Yeah.
So it's sad just hearing about these murders and how these women they weren't just murdered.
No.
They were mutilated.
There's a photo of one of them on the Wikipedia page. And if I am very squeamish, and I've been over here like trying to recover from it. So if you are someone who's listening and are squeamish, do not go to the Jack the Ripper Wikipedia page, because it is very upsetting. It's a very upsetting photo of one of the victims. It's Mary Jane Kelly. I'm sorry. It's awful.
They show it?
I can show you.
I know. I don't know if I want to see it.
It's troubling.
It's oh man, it's so sad to even think about. She scrolled away. It's fate.
Yep.
They're not wanting us to. Oh crap.
Oh boy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ugh.
Hold on, I can't even see. My
Yeah, that's
eyesight's
probably
horrible.
good because it is like until you
really
like really
upsetting.
look at it, you're like,
Oh man. So
ugh.
I don't want to describe. We did some descriptive stuff,
Yeah.
but looking at that photo, which I wish I didn't look at it.
Troubling.
The thing is that whoever did this, of course, wasn't in their right mind.
No, something's wrong.
Something is. It almost looks as there was rage involved.
Yeah, that was a very violent. Like when you first describe it as someone who might have had a medical background, you think very precise
Yeah.
cuts and things. This was a very violent attack. Even if there was precision, it was still so violent.
Y'all smell burning?
I turned the heat on for probably the first time this year because it was kind of cold.
Okay,
in here,
that's
so
probably
that might
what
be
it is
it.
then.
I was about to say, man, that was weird.
I
just
don't smell it, but you're sitting closest to a vent.
Yeah, there's a vent right over there.
Okay, all right. Anyway,
He's like,
squirrel.
Yeah, I smell it when I lean this way.
Yeah, I smell it.
There is, I've done this. So there is walking tours on YouTube that you can do. Like I've gotten my treadmill out before and I put on, and you can do like a walking tour of Whitechapel and the East End and see all of the spots where victims were found. And you go on like a Jack the Ripper walking tour.
So any of our audio listeners, this is why you need to be a Patreon member. But
What in the world?
Josh, as soon as she said treadmill, Josh was like, "What? Treadmill?
No,
For him,
Oh,
not
yeah.
you.
I was like, he knows
For-
I get on my treadmill.
No, for him, he's like, oh, treadmill.
No, my brain
way.
went through. She's exercising and walking through where all these women got murdered. What is wrong with you?
I am a millennial female.
Yeah,
okay?
whatever
We're-
motivates, I
We're
guess.
murder people. Murder listeners.
Meanwhile, I want something calming and she's just like,
Look, it was a walking tour of
Oh,
London.
there's Mary Jane.
You go on ghost tours.
Oh, true.
That's true.
True.
So
Okay,
it's similar
touche.
to that. Like you see what it would have looked like in the East End and Whitechapel
That's true.
area in the 1800s.
So
and you
just
see what it looks like now.
just that area, not like the
Yeah,
murders itself.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, they tell the story, but you see what it looks
that
like.
that
now.
would,
Yeah,
that would
I
be
gotcha.
motivating to, like, if you're wanting to exercise and you get bored out of your mind. That would be a way
it was
to
that
do
or
it.
stare at the wall.
Yeah.
So it was like
Okay.
I'm walking while they're walking.
It
And I'm
just
sure they
seems-
have them for other places. I just
Seems
looked up
more
the Jack the
sinister
Ripper.
than it is, I suppose. I guess I'll sleep with one eye open.
Yeah.
You probably
better.
should.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
You made a
There's-
joke about dogs jumping
that's
off of.
payback now.
There's some marital tension, and
And
I'm in
he's
the.
lied on this
I'm in the
podcast
middle
about
of
me. By
this.
the way, we need to clear the air.
Uh-oh.
When have I ever told you bye stupid in the morning? When have I ever said that to you?
Listen, nobody would be surprised if you did. Okay.
I say
She is like,
bye, love you, have a good day. Don't forget your lunch.
Stupid.
And guess what he does? He forgets his lunch. I'm not calling you stupid.
Oh, so there's a roundabout.
okay.
You
so
need
you're
to
still-
clear the air now,
You're still
sir.
stupid. She
Yeah,
just
she
doesn't
just
tell
doesn't
you
say
you're
it.
stupid.
When do I ever say that? I'm very sweet. In the
Yeah, come on,
morning.
Josh.
She leaves that piece for me to figure out for myself.
No, so you don't tell him. You just leave a note in his lunchbox.
Yeah, the lunch I made.
Oh,
Made sure
She's
he
like,
had.
here you go,
Wow.
stupid.
Just
What?
don't
See?
forget your lunch.
so this is one thing about having your spouse.
Yeah, I can
This is
call you
true.
out
She
for
can call
lies.
you out.
She's been talking about this one for a long
Yeah,
time.
you're letting the people think that I'm a monster, and I am not. I'm
No,
sweet.
you're not a monster for calling him stupid. I call him stupid all the time.
Called out.
Yeah,
I had to clear
you
the-
know what? I
clear
love
the
this.
air.
You know, I'm just going to sit back and just listen to y'all talk.
I just
What-
needed the record set.
Shane's like, tell us more.
Straight.
Yeah. So look, I can be the psychologist. I can be like, if y'all have anything that y'all want to work out, now's the time. Let's do it.
No, that was my only issue. Is these lies about me.
She's been hanging on to that one
Yeah.
for
I was like, "Are you serious?"
that was like what 6 episodes.
Have a good day at work, stupid.
We were, we recorded in the studio. Yeah,
I'm gonna start saying that now in the mornings. Bye, stupid, whatever.
Please record it because I would love to have record of that.
He just wants a playback of all of the days.
Yeah,
that's right. It's like, am I alone in calling him stupid, or is there other people? Is there other people that
should I feel bad
share
about
the
this?
sentiment? I'm just kidding. I don't think you're stupid. I don't think you're stupid.
Listen,
only Mandy does.
A lot of days I think I'm stupid, so it's fine.
No,
just the days you forget your lunch when you had a reminder,
which is every day. And you know what? There could be times where he doesn't forget. He just wants to go get
a lot of times it is that. A lot of times if I already have like appointments that I have to go and take with other people.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's me forgetting because, listen, just to get out in the morning, that's a struggle, you know?
Trust me, I know.
Stupid.
Oh, yes. Now we have record. And I'm just
all right. Well, this was a good episode. Thanks, everybody.
I'm gonna clip that part and then have it put it as your ringtone. There you go.
Stupid.
There you go. See, that's a very clear audio.
Yeah.
You buy these expensive mics just to have your wife call you stupid.
Just feeling all the positivity and love coming from
yeah.
You too.
All right. Well, stupid, we gotta go, okay? All right. But thank you all so much for listening to this episode. This is probably a shorter episode, right?
26 minutes this time.
Man, the time is just slipping by. I thought it was like a 15-minute one.
Nope.
But anyway, thank y'all again. We really appreciate everything that you do. We say thank you every time at the end of this.
We mean it.
But we really do mean it. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff. So thank you so much for your support. Check out our sponsor, AlienSodaCompany.shop, for all things out of this world. Go to our Patreon and support us if you don't mind. You don't have to, but that's one way that can help us continue doing what we do. You can go to patreon.com/searchersbelieve and you can sign up there. We give away some really cool stuff every month. An SLS, which we're going to be giving away every month.
We'll be doing, every month.
And also, if you like ghost hunting, you like doing cool stuff like that, we give away all expense paid trips twice a year. And the more we grow, we're going to try to do 3 times a year.
And I want to clear the air now that I'm feeling better with Steven. He was our first Patreon winner for the trip. And we were supposed to be going this weekend. And literally on the ride up to West Virginia, I got like super sick. Had to turn around. Flights were paid for. Location was paid for. Rooms were paid for. But it was, it's what, an 8.5 hour, 9 hour drive for us. And it was like just not going to happen.
And I could say it couldn't be avoided. It was one of those things. It's one of those fluke things that happen. But we talked to Steven already. We were already working on like a reschedule, and we're going to try to
make it up to him.
We're going to try to add like a day before, so that way we can just check out the town. And so anyway, it works out to where,
and the location was
more.
It works out. It works out to where he's going to be happy with the result anyway, because it was this weekend. It was going to be a very quick turnaround, so he wouldn't have really had time to do anything anyway, just based on the schedule. So now this gives us a little more time to let him fly in a day before, and we can actually hang out and do some
and I've been
stuff.
checking flights for us as well, so maybe this time we'll fly up as well.
Hell yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because that drive is long, man. And man, we were committed. We were ready to go.
We literally were there. Yeah, we were on the way up.
Yeah, it just happened. It happened quick. And, I say a lot of times these things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And this could be for Steven to have even a better experience. So, at the end of the day, it's all going to work out. I'm excited.
He will get his trip.
Yep.
So he'll get his trip. Yeah.
Steven, I feel terrible, but we will definitely make it up to you, buddy.
Well, and Steven's been great about it. And he's like, I understand completely.
Okay, good.
These things happen. So he's been cool about it. We're going to do the reschedule. But again, patreon.com/searchersbelieve. We give away 2 a year so far.
Yep.
Once we grow more,
we'll do more.
We'll do more. And this is all expense paid. So your flight, your hotel, your food, merch, all of this stuff is just given to you. So you don't have to worry about a thing except for taking off of work to be there.
And that's another thing. Maybe this go around we'll actually have some more merch, because we got to reorder.
Maybe he can have a "What's up, everybody" and a Poor Shane shirt.
We only had one shirt that was in his size.
Look, and even better than that Patreon perk, the free trips, is that recently you could see George Bailey.
That's
true.
true.
In the
Which is curled up in a ball right now. But
They call that the donut.
yeah, he's bored with our podcast. Hopefully, you're not curled up in a ball listening to us. If so, we need to reevaluate things.
Yes, true.
Yeah. But again, thank you so much. And until the next episode, Searchers out.
Love you guys.